Hey YouTube, welcome to the Off-Grid Mountain Homestead. Yes, that's a dirty bucket sitting there and a dirty Gamma Seal lid. I've had this Gamma Seal lid on this bucket for 6 months. I used this before I installed my no waste chicken feeder. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the description to the zero waste chicken feeder. Before I got the chicken feeder, I was using this bucket to put 5 to 10 pounds of chicken feed in and keep it beside the coop. That way all the feed was not together. I didn't have a big barrel sitting right beside the coop in case a bear came through and decided to try to tear into my feed stock. But you can see this is dirty. I ain't washed it up. It's not a Hollywood production. Not gonna stage this. This is real life. So it's been out in the weather. You can see there's been leaves on it. It's been rained on. I opened it up the other day after I'd done the zero waste feeder, and all the chicken food that was in here was wet. So that lid failed within 6 months time. $10 lid lasted 6 months. So let's diagnose what happened, and I've got a fail-safe solution too, so stay tuned to the last part of the video. There's a good solution to fix this. So here's the point of failure on the Gamma lid. It's the factory seal on the O-ring or factory splice where they put it together with whatever glue they use at the factory. So it failed right there on the splice joint. So 6 months opening it every day and the gasket fails. Is that normal? Am I crazy? Should I, for something that I paid $10 for, should I expect it to last longer than 6 months or less than 6 months? I don't know. But it kind of disappointed me because these lids are just pushed by everybody. Oh, these are awesome. These are awesome. These are awesome. No, they're not. Not in my experience anyhow. And another thing I noticed about the gasket, it's a hollow gasket. I'm gonna try to get this to focus for you folks there to see. A hollow gasket. So if you, I'm assuming they made it hollow so it would compress, smush it down when it seals in the bucket. Which is good or bad, I don't know. I'm not the engineer that designed it, but it's a failure point, especially having looks like a subpar glue joint. So all the hype about the Gamma lids, oh, this is the best lid ever, this thing's airtight, leak proof, blah blah blah. Not outdoors, it ain't. Failure. So let's look at some of the design flaws that I noticed myself. The first thing, when I got the Gamma Seal lids, is I noticed it's relying on that gasket to seal right here on the ring that goes on the bucket. And if you can see, water can work its way down here into this gap. There's nothing to stop water from getting in there except the gasket. So that's a big design flaw. I don't like that. There's no redundancy. So if the gasket fails, water's coming in this bucket if it's sitting outdoors. Another close-up shot of what I was talking about. You can see right here this discolored, yellow-colored portion of the lid where this gasket actually looks like it oxidized because the gasket has changed color since this bucket, or since the lid was new. It was pure white and now it's changed color to a darker color, so I'm assuming it oxidized too, being out in the elements. But you can see where that gasket would sit right there. So that gasket's right on the edge of the inner lip, and you can see the streak on it right there where that gasket sit, and it's supposed to seal it up. And with the lid upside down, you can see the discoloration from the gasket. So whatever gasket material that they're using is oxidizing and breaking down outdoors. So whatever that material is not conducive for lasting a long time. So out here at the feed storage, so before you consider spending $10, $11, $12, whatever Gamma lids are up to now, you might want to consider something like this, a 15-gallon food grade storage tote, storage barrels. These had coffee beans in them or something like that. I got them from a feed store about 45 minutes away. They had the best price on these. They were, I believe, $20 or $25 a piece. I've had some for a long time. I know a couple of them I've had for at least 2 or 3 years. I've been sitting out in the weather continuously. So let me show you why I like these, why I call them the fail-safe option. So if we got compared to the Gamma lid, you can see that this has a lip right here where it diverts water off. So if it's sitting outside, water cannot physically get in this barrel. So let me pop the lid open on it and I'll show you extra here. You got a 1-inch lip right there, and this lid sits down on top of that. So It's a gasketed lid, just like the Gamma. It's got a gasket up in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a rubber gasket tucked up in there, and you can see where the wear mark is, where it contacts the edge of the barrel here. So if you took the gasket out, you would still have a watertight container as far as from gravity. Now, it wouldn't be watertight under, if you throwed it in a lake or in a creek, water could get under it, but just sitting outside in the rain, if your gasket fails, the rain's just going to sheet off of it, and it's not going to be able to work its way back up inside the feed barrel. So before you consider spending, the money on Gamma lids for outdoor use, just a word of caution, consider your other options like these 15-gallon feed barrels. You can get them in 30-gallon too, 55-gallon, whatever size, floats your boat. And you can almost fit 100 pounds of chicken feed and rabbit pellets, So I got chicken feed, rabbit pellets, scratch grain, and day-to-day hay. So I keep my main hay under the lawnmower shed, but this is just the feed station where I got it center point between all the animals, so I can just grab it and go. And you can see that hay is nice and dry down in there, sitting out in the weather. So good option. Hope you might consider that, and count my loss on the Gamma lid as maybe a reward to you to, word of caution not to use them if that, you so see fit. So rant over for today. I don't know if it's a rant or just a heads up. I guess more of a heads up. So no more Gamma lids here at the homestead. I'm gonna stick with the tried and true feed barrels. So gasket lid, Gamma seal lid sits there and basking in its failure, gasket hanging out. So let me know in the comments, do you use Gamma lids or do you use feed buckets, feed barrels? Do you love Gamma lids? Do you hate them? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the Off Grid Mountain Homestead. Stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe.